Good evening. Yes, it is a little dark. Hold up. Ah! Oh, what we do for atmosphere. Wait a minute. There. That's better. That's better. Oh, I shall have to brighten it up just a little bit. The lights are doing interesting things tonight. Oh, wait. Oh, I stole one of my candles from the altar. That's all right. So, what I need to do here, hang on. Yes, atmosphere is so much fun. I'm going to brighten me up just a little bit. There we go. How are you all tonight? Welcome. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I'm so glad you came to hang out. And if you're not new here, you know how glad I am to see you guys. You know how very glad I am. And let's say hello. Samantha, hello, my darling, fluffing the pillows. And Roxanne, hello, my love. Tavia, welcome. And hello, Catherine. Welcome to you. Hello, Laura. All right, dinner in front of the TV. Nice. Absolutely nice. I'm going to turn my drums down just a little bit. Sound good? Everything? This my microphone, you know. Oh, you know what? Oh, hold up, you guys. So I was quite certain that I had plenty of time when I came up here to get ready, and it turns out I didn't. Right, hold on. I know this ear is pierced. I was there when it happened. Good gravy. Darling, what's going on? My God, no. Hold up. There we are. We've got our spooky boys. And do I have a chain? I don't have my necklace. Oh well. I'm half dressed. Never mind. I'm not going to go hunting. But I have such a hard time pulling my chair up close enough. Okay, I'm going to continue with messages. Greetings, Marcy. Welcome, my dear. Yes, now we just need a Darcy. Oh. Good. I'm glad. Yes. Well, not quite yet, although I have been hard at work. I got new stuff to show you. I'm so very excited about it, and I will do that right now. So you've seen like the first goddesses I did, which was the big goddesses. And then I scaled those down and made earrings that are, smaller. Well, that was like in straight brick stitch. Well, now I've learned increasing and decreasing brick stitch, and I'm learning how to make it get up and dance. So I thought, I wonder if I can free these little goddesses from their background. So she's the first one. There she is. Put her behind the black background. The little maiden goddess. And then I decided we needed some more womanly goddesses. So she's the second one. And then I decided she needed to be even more abundant. And so there's the third one. And then, there she is in all her glory. Our wonderful, there's a lot of glare because these are really shiny beads. But my beautiful, abundant goddess. So, and I thought I had a chain over here to put one on, but I guess I don't. So, wait, yes I do. Yay, I don't have to go bare-necked. And as I pick this up, I'm picking up all kinds of beading thread. So yes, I have been having an absolutely delightful time beading. Who do I want to wear tonight? Ooh, I like the dark ones. And there was a first iteration of her, but her arms didn't turn out quite right. Very skinny arms. So we gave her just a little bit better, some shoulders, you know? I'm liking the black though. And then this one, okay, we will go with her. I am so proud of her because even if you aren't familiar with that, you know, goddess form with the arms up like that, she just looks like a cool graphic design. Now let's see if I can do this. Come on. Oh, fudge sickles, arts and farces. Oh, hold on. A rebel ear hole. I know. All right, hold up. You guys are so patient. And of course, now that I've done this last minute kind of freak out getting myself ready, there we go. Now I'm all sweaty, but you know, it wouldn't be a reading night if I wasn't all sweaty. Here. Plus, I chugged a cup of coffee. I guarantee you there's going to be a little break in the middle because I made coffee and then forgot to drink it until the last 20 minutes and then I had to chug it. Okay. Happy new moon, everybody. Happy eclipse. Scorpio new moon eclipse. And, you know, I did that second video just about Scorpio stuff, and I still forgot a whole bunch of shit to talk about. Like, Scorpios, Plutonian people are the ones to have around in a crisis. They are the ones to be with when things go to extremes, because that's where they live. They know how to handle it. And they are the best people for dealing with crisis. And also, I forgot to talk about the whole Scorpion Eagle Phoenix thing. That might be a separate video, actually. Thank you. Hello, Natalie. I'm so glad you're here. Yay, you guys. I'm so happy to see you all. I really, really am. Okay, so let's take a look at what we got going on tonight. I will probably, I will definitely up the brightness here. Notice I just discovered where to do these things. So, oh, what the hell? Take the contrast down a little bit, maybe, and the brightness up a little bit. Maybe the contrast up a little bit. That's what happens if I do. All right. And then the color maybe down it. Color. No. All right. Well, it is what it is. Why does it look so fuzzy? Is it just oh, I know. Wait. I'm not sure why it's looking so funky like that. It might be because the contrast needs to be right there. At any rate, my loves, here's what's different. You know, I set everything up to give you a nice little atmospheric thing in the beginning. And what the fuck is wrong here? Okay. All right. I think I'm going to leave it like that. And then, you know, here's what I can do. Change back to the default settings. There we go. When in doubt, wipe it out. Okay. Back to messages. Oh, I'm glad it sounds good. And I love the rebel ear hole. I know. I have actually 3 on the left side and 2 on the right side. And the last one on the left side hasn't had an earring in decades, probably. But every once in a while, I still re-pierce them and put something through. I'm glad you like the goddesses. I'm working now on a crone, maybe a Sheila Nahig one, or you know, I'm just looking on some different designs. But it's so much fun because I get a basic design and kind of sketch it out on pattern paper. But I am using a combination of double brick stitch and single brick stitch, and my pattern paper is either double or single, so I can kind of sketch it out, and then I just have to start making it to see what works right. So I have a small pile of ones that were the first iteration and then the second iteration. And I could undo the first ones and reuse the beads, but I really like being able to look back and see where I started and, you know, kind of the progression. So hello, Tarot Girl. Welcome. Welcome to you. Cute spider on with the, yes, the one on there. Well, here, let me show you a cuter one that unfortunately I did not have room for. So this one was like from National Geographic or something that I got for my son when he was little, and it was a remote control one, and it didn't work for very long, but when it did work, it was really fun to make him go and then hold him over one of my drums and hear him go tippy, 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 tippy. Very fun. Very, very fun. Okay, getting my ass together here. And now I need something cold. So yeah, 2 minutes before I hit the go button, I'm screaming at my husband to please bring me up something cold to drink. Because I just had something hot to drink. All right. Cheers. Blessed new moon to you. So one of the things about Samhain, astrologically, and really about any, you know, Wheel of the Year type festivals, I want to take a look at my ephemeris here for a second. Is that, you know, you can celebrate Samhain at the new moon. You can celebrate Samhain at the full moon. It doesn't have to be tied to the calendar. And I'm looking to see here, actually, when the sun, so the peak of each season is when the cross quarters happen. You know, Beltane and Samhain and Ostara and Mabon. And if you think about it, the peak of the season should be at the middle degree of the second sign in that season. So fall kicks off with Libra, right, at 0 Libra. So 14 degrees, or the midway point of Scorpio, is when actual Samhain, where the season hits its peak. And that doesn't happen until November 7th. So at the full moon. So really, if you want to do astrological Samhain, it's going to be at that full moon. November 8th is the full moon. It's also election day. Never mentioned that in the chart read. I think I will do a separate reading looking at the U.S. chart and election day, because it is momentous, you know, even though I have backed away from doing political things. So let's do, okay. Greetings, Slancha, Fresca, have a Fresca. Okay. Let me introduce the decks, and we will do a little blessing. Let's start off with clearing the space. Yes, November 8th is the full moon also. All right. I offer you this smoke cleanse by air and fire. May you be purified and charged. Purifying this space, charging it with good, clean energy. I offer you this ocean water. By water and earth, may you be blessed and made whole. And I've got my bell over here. With the sound of the bell, call you into presence in this time, in this place. May the sound of the bell clear all negativity and bring your focus sharp. And may the third bell open the portal to the divine, to divination, our making of the divine. And with it, we set our intention to reach out through the veil and pull back significant messages from Spirit. And we see magic made manifest. So mote it be, and blessed be. And my guides and guardians, allies and ancestors, I welcome you here to this space. I feel my guides coming close. Come in close. Lloyd and Jessica, come on in close. Oh, I can feel them. And let's send a blessing to the ancestors. And I have some candy to offer to the ancestors. I'm not going to put it between the hot pot or underneath the hot pot so it melts, but we are offering that to the ancestors. And I offer you fresh water, and I offer you the fire of Azrael. Do you like my little spoon? There was a blacksmith. Darcy and her husband took me and Cliff to an egg thing. When was it? Was it back in the spring? Was it that far away? But it was all the, Pisanki eggs. And there was a blacksmith there that had some beautiful things, and this was one of them. It was the only thing I could afford, but it's a little spoon, and I love it so much. All right, let's introduce our decks 20 minutes down the road, for crying out loud. All right, let me catch up. Fresca addict. Does anybody remember Squirt? I'll let that one land. May the energy of the eclipse on the 7th bring everything out into the light by the 8th. Yes. Full solar eclipse. Actually, it's a partial solar. It's a full lunar. So the solar eclipse, the lunar eclipse on the new moon, the solar on the new, the lunar on the full is a total eclipse. Yes, expect the unexpected. I'm glad you like the sound of the bell. It's wonderful. You can feel like your cells responding to the sound of the bell, and bells clear negativity. They align the molecules of the air and clear out anything that doesn't belong, and that's why churches have always had them. They clear out the negative. Okay, so our decks tonight. Number 1, we have the Zombie Tarot. Number 2 is the Halloween Oracle. And I was fussing around because I have way more tarot decks than oracle decks in this vein. So I was switching decks out like with 2 minutes to go. Then we have the Haunted House Tarot. And another hearty whoa. Then Les Vampires. Speaking of vampire, Cliff and I watched a movie last night. It was made in 2009. It was called Suck. And hi, Sherry. Were you here before and I missed you? Oh, yay. I'm so glad you're here. All right. So this movie is called Suck, and it's about a band. It's kind of like Spinal Tap meets Buffy. It was great. We loved it. So it was on Prime, but you can look for it. It's just called Suck. Really cool, fun movie. All right. Next, if you didn't already know, is the Halloween Tarot. And then we have Madame Endora's fortune cards. Now, the one that's not here tonight is the Trick or Treat Tarot, and I went back and forth, but I really wanted like as many of the monsters and things as I could get. So I am planning to do a live on Samhain on Monday night. So be here, and I will whip out all the rest of the decks, the Ghosts and Spirits, and the Trick or Treat, and the Samhain Oracle, and all those wonderful things. All right, you guys. A little bit more of that, I think. Because it's not coming into my face. So that's good. I have been cutting way, way back on my caffeine. So like I do a three-cup pot in the morning, but only half a cup is caffeinated. So I just got caffeinated more than I'm used to. So, all right. Yes, I am so happy to have you all here. Welcome. If you want to check in and say hi on the chat, please do. We have a wonderful little community here, and we are ready, ready, ready to welcome you. All right, with the Astro Dice. What message do we need to know on this new moon heading into Samhain season? All right, we've got the North Node in Aquarius in the 12th house. Wow, okay. Wow, you guys, the karmic way forward is what we're talking about on the new moon. I want to cry. Why? Okay. Why, you guys? Why do I want to cry? I don't know. But I just got this rush of tears. Okay. Because I feel this door opening. This new Samhain moon in Scorpio. The gateway to transformation, to big transformation. Internal, external, all the way around. And if we all work for our own internal transformation, and what does that mean? It means peeling away the layers of the false self. Peeling away that person we've been trained to be and coerced to be and traumatized to be. Peeling away those layers so that who we were born to be can come through. So that who we are eternally can come through. That's the karmic way forward. The flavor of that is everything must go. Letting go of all the old ways, except the good spiritual old ways. But Aquarius is about humanity. For the sake of humanity, we find our karmic path forward. We update everything we need to. It's about technology in service to humanity. It's about science as another huge portal that opens our understanding of the universe and each other and the workings of things. And, quantum physics, we're getting so much closer. And I love, love, love that every time science comes around and has this new big realization, it's like, yeah, well, if you had asked the astrologers, we'd have told ya, right? And then it's in the 12th house. This is the house of mystery. This is the house of spirituality. It's the house of the subconscious, the unconscious, sleep and dreams. Anything that is dysfunctional at a deep level is 12th house stuff. 12th house is where we hide all our skeletons. 12th house is our closet where we stuff all the things that we want to make disappear. And so it is the portal that we must open, because we cannot be fully who we are unless we understand everything all the way down, unless we are willing to drop that gate between the waking consciousness and the subconscious. And, you know, yes, there are sometimes bad surprises waiting. But again, first of all, your psyche is very rarely, under certain circumstances, will it allow you to experience things that you are not, in fact, ready for. And those circumstances are when your gate is artificially dropped, like with anesthesia, like with psychedelics. Those drop your gates, right? And you just confront things whether you're ready or not. But a healthy psyche, or just a psyche that you are conscious of and working with, will not allow you to go places that you're not ready for yet. But when you step up and say, I am ready, it will start giving you the insights that you need. And that's the 12th house stuff. This is dreams, dreaming a big dream, inviting spirit in to guide those dreams and guide us towards a new level of understanding of humanity. You know, the warriors for humanity. But this is the karmic way forward for us, the new, not the old. All right, so on this new moon, show us the way forward. All right, checking messages. It's the first time today. It is the first time today that I got all teary, Samantha, just talking about that doorway opening, and it was teary of, you know, like relief and joy. The vampire. Yep, sad-eyed waifs and puppies and cats. Yes, I think the artist of those just died, like within the last year. I can't remember her name. But yes, Jasmine Beckett Griffith does that wonderful kind of art with the big eyes, and I love them too. All righty, who is up first? Put my feet flat on the floor. Who would like to speak to us first? Number 5. And that's the Halloween Tarot. What a perfect kickoff. Perfect. I wonder, was there ever a regular boxed version of this? Because by the time I bought it, you could only get it in a tin, and it is a smaller deck. So I wonder, does anybody have one like in a regular tuck box? This was one of those decks that everybody had to have back in the day. Back in the day when there were only like 15, you know? All right. I'm asking for 3, and these just kind of leapt into my hand. We have the Death card. Happy Samhain. What are we willing to let go of? Remember last month or last week? God, my brain is walking the thin line tonight. We have the 3 of Imps and the 10 of Imps. So these are wands. And Death and the 3 of Imps, what's the death of? The death of plans, the old plans. So if we are willing, you know, the more we have invested in something, and as far as time and effort, the harder it is to let go. And that results in a phenomenon, and I can't remember what it's called, but it's a thing that they've studied and they know, where people that are gambling, the more money they have lost, the more likely they are to keep gambling, because the stakes keep going up, and it's like, now I have to get the money back, and they just keep going for it. So the more we have invested in something in our life, whether it's, you know, something happening to us, or, you know, a plan that we've made, the harder it is to recognize that this is going nowhere and to let it go. But I want to tell you that rather than just saying, fuck it, I let it go, here's what we do. you say, I hand it over to Spirit. I hand it over to my guides. I've done all this work. Here is the outcome that I'm looking for. And I can't seem to get there under my own steam, under my own plans, even if they're collaborative plans. My ships, I'm looking for the ships coming in, and Death here says my plans are just not manifesting. So what you do is say to Spirit, take over, please. You can get me there faster than I can. You know my heart's desire better than I do. You can get me there. The view from where you are is a lot simpler than from where I am. I'm down here, in the corn maze. You're looking at the corn maze from the top, you can see, all you have to do is make 2 right turns and you're out. But in the maze, it's like round and round and round and twist and turn and, getting more and more frantic. So this talks about the death of plans. And then we've got the 10 of Imps here, which talks about things that have just become too much to carry. Too heavy, oppressively heavy for us to carry. So what is it that we can offer up to the gods of Samhain? The best laid plans that have become a burden to us, that have become heavy and oppressive, and we can no longer bear them. It's time to offer those up to Spirit. And we have the 10 of Pumpkins here. So we go from oppression, heaviness, being weighed down by the planning and needing to let go. And then we have the 10 of Pumpkins here, which is fruition, manifestation, abundance. Yeah. But everything hinges on us being willing to let go. I want to do this, sorry. We have the 9 of Imps. Oh my gosh. So manifesting, really focusing back on, rather than plans, focusing on what I already have, what is already manifest, putting that into the place of gratitude. And then the 9 of Imps here says drawing a boundary. We've been through the battle of creativity. Nothing is a loss. No efforts that you've made are a loss because you're going to learn something from those. But the 9 of Imps says now we go into protection mode. We're going to protect the resources that we have and be in gratitude. And then we have the 9 of Pumpkins. Look at this, you guys. 10, 10, 9, 9. We are at the point of transformation. When 9s and 10s come up in a reading, particularly if there's an ace or more, it tells me something is at the end of a cycle, and the first card out is the Death card. We are at the end of a karmic cycle. It's time to let go of the old plans that no longer serve us, that weigh us down. Time to focus on the things that we do have and the resources we have, and use this humanitarian, this wonderful, intuitive, genius, brilliant innovation and imagination of Aquarius, with the help of Spirit and the help of things coming up from the subconscious, our dream mind. And we use that to bring us into this wonderful place of, I'm okay. Look at this 9 of Pumpkins. I'm okay. I have my fortress. Look at, we drew the boundaries here. I am going to have what I need to get through what I need to get through. And, 9 of Pumpkins, which is 9 of Pentacles, has always talked to me about your ability to have everything you need all on your own without somebody else coming in, right? So that's what I see at the end here. Now I'm going to catch up. A baby deck. Okay, so yes, this is a smaller version. Oh, U.S. Games has Halloween Tarot in print, but is it in a tuck box or is it in a tin? Is it like the small version? That's what I'd like to know. Yes, Marcy, that's my question. Larger than the tin. Okay, awesome. That's good to know. Thank you, Catherine. The regular size, it was ruined. Oh, it was an offering. Oh, offerings. All right. I release all feelings, thoughts, and beliefs that no longer serve my highest good. That's right. I release them. And sometimes to release them is to confront, and then we can release. So accepting that these things are no longer serving. Ah, thinking of replacing it. Got Trick or Tarot by Duck Soup. Oh, I've never heard of that one. The deck does know I love it. Yes, it is. All right, you guys. So here's the Halloween, and we are off and running. And my guides, I'm telling you, I love you guys so much. It really is amazing when you come to the realization that you're not here all by yourself. Okay, who's up next? 6. Madame Endora. Now, this is a deck I haven't used an awful lot, and she came in at the last minute. So we will see how we go. What do you... Oh, this is a deck that shuffles like a dream. It's so funny because the Tarot Familiars I just edged a couple nights ago, and I had it sitting out so it could off-gas. And I took it, it's a wonderful size deck, and I went to shuffle it, and it's like surprisingly stiff, but it still shuffles well. So many different cardstocks. One more. Can you tell I'm enjoying? I'm getting lost in the shuffle. Okay, Madame Endora. 17. Yeah, hit the likes, you guys. Thank you so much for that, Marcy. I'm so bad at this kind of stuff, but it really does help my channel. I am barreling down towards 2,000 subscribers, and I really appreciate that. So if you're here, new and hanging out, please hit the like and subscribe if you like what you're seeing here. And I do want to say it really is the community here that makes these evenings so good and so much fun. Okay. You know, one of these days I'm going to need moderators. I'm going to need to make people admins. Not quite yet. Okay. So air is what came out first. Seek a union of mind and spirit. Mind, spirit. Aquarius, Pisces. Hello there. All right, so what do you want to tell us about air? The spider. Meticulous and patient. The green man, the forces of nature favor you. And the maiden, a new relationship blossoms. Okay, let's work through here. I'm just going to look at the symbols themselves. So we talk about that union of mind and spirit. And then there's the webbing, the webbing of weave, the webbing of the weave, the weaving of the web. So the union, okay, let me work through this here. The union of mind and spirit. It's allowing your mind to be open, grounding, and that 9 of imps last time, getting your boundaries firm. So sacred circle, you know? Casting a circle, being in that place where you can just let your mind open, and that means letting any expectations and agenda go. Open mind means I'm not thinking anything. I'm just going to see what happens in the present moment. And then what happens is we start to see the connections of things. Everything is interconnected. And in our lives, we are the spider that sits in the middle of that web. So we need to look at the web that we are weaving. And, okay, didn't know if music was going. We need to see if we are weaving the web that we intend, you know, the connections that we make. And also, I'm thinking about, we have the connections that we make. There are connections that have been lost. I have one particular one that's been on my mind a lot lately. My hand just wants to draw this web. And then we have the web that comes around like this. So the connections that have been lost, the connections that we seek to make, and also the connections that need to be cut. That 10 of imps, the things that are oppressive, the things that no longer serve, the connections that you don't have the will to maintain anymore. You know, people come into our lives and then they leave, and it's an ebb and flow. So all of those reclaiming lost ones, forging new ones, letting go of old ones. I see the fates spinning their thread, spinning, measuring, and cutting. So this can also apply to relationships that we meet. We spin a thread and make a connection. We measure out the length of that thread for the time of our connection, and at some point the thread is cut and the connection is ended. And the green man down here, the forces of nature favor you. Well, the green man is nature itself. It's manifest nature. It's the grain, the corn, the acorns that are lying all over the ground as the leaves are raining down right now. The green man is a bit orange these days. So harnessing those forces of nature, really connecting with those forces and their guises as gods and goddesses. The organic connections we make with people. So think about two connections that you've made that you never would have chosen except for the fact that I have to work this job, or I have to be in this place at this time and I have to deal with this person. So you can be mindful of those kind of ties and just ask how strong of a tie you need, you know? And so you can look at, you know, ones like that. Maybe if there's somebody that's really annoying to you, you can consciously think of whatever thread connects you and make that thread very light and very breakable. So, you know, we're connected, so I'm aware of what's going on, but maybe if they try to tread towards me, it's just going to break, you know? So that image of web and spider is really a good one to think about right now, because it says a new relationship is blossoming. This can be a new relationship with yourself, a new relationship, the union of mind and spirit, a new level of that relationship within you, a new relationship between yourself and your gods and goddesses, your guides, your ancestors. I'm really getting heavy spirit on this. New relationship with ancestors, maybe that you didn't meet in this lifetime in the flesh. You know? Okay, I'm going to catch up with some messages. Yes, Marcy, that familiar tarot, the Fournier decks, I looked to see, and it's like, yes, their card stock is fabulous. And Carlatides, yes, it's the same size, and it shuffles just as well. Okay, yep. I gotcha, Marcy. Laura, it's a Pippish deck, so there's not a lot of images, but it definitely has a vibe to it. Road Atlas, welcome. We are the flow and we are the ebb. We are the weavers, we are the web. You know that chant? We are the flow and we are the ebb. We are the weavers, we are the web. Yes. Samantha watched a spider once on the front porch repairing a hole in the web. When I came out the next day, it was gone. But later on that afternoon, she apparently had hung on somehow because she was rebuilding. It's amazing. It's amazing to watch. We have these wolf spiders. I don't think I told you this story. Maybe I did a week or so ago. But Pyewacket, Cliff was sitting in front of his computer and Pyewacket was on the floor behind him and he meowed. He is the most communicative cat. He meowed, meow, meow, you know, and Cliff turned around to say, what's going on? And he was sitting with like his paw sort of sticking out on the ground. And Cliff says, what's up? He moves his paw. There's a wolf spider and he puts his paw back down. So Cliff scooped up the spider and took her back out to the woods. He will come and meow and look and let us know there's a stink bug or something. He's the most amazing cat. Do I have anybody up here? Pyewacket! Pyewacket! Let's see if he comes. Put your intention out. Let's see if we can get him up here. Okay, so they're telling me one more. And then we have Earth. Utilize logic, reason, and common sense. So Earth is the center here. It really grounds us. So think in practical terms about the relationships around you, the relationship within yourself. And it is not selfish to look in practical material terms and say, this is what I need and this is what I don't need. You are not mean if you say no. That's not being mean. That's setting a boundary. Right? Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Endora. Isn't it a beautiful deck? Look at this. And it looks absolutely gorgeous, edged in black, as most do. All right. Time for a sip. If you want to change your life and the solid, change your mind. And yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Free your mind and your ass will follow. Amen. Who's up next? Number 4. Les Vampires. Buffy theme. I've been rewatching Buffy. And I realized, I started with the first season. Usually what happens is I go back to the second season because some of my favorite episodes are there, and I'll watch a favorite episode and then I just end up watching the rest of the series through. But I usually skip season 1. So the fun part was season 1 had a bunch of surprises and things I didn't remember. And I always think, oh, you just got to get through season 1. No, you don't. It's excellent. But then season 2, whew, damn. Okay. You're welcome, Samantha. You like me playing with that deck. Yay! Minor Arcana like in Marseille. Yes, Pippish deck, but the Major and Court are all animals and the images are incredible. I will show them to you. Looky. Because what do you know? They're sitting right here. Let's take a look. Let's take a look, because we're not in any hurry, are we? No, we're not. Yes, those are the blocking cards. Here's the deck. And so you see that's the 8 of Swords, 9 of Pentacles, and then we have, here's the Tower, the World, lots of owls. So we're looking at cards that are, or animals that are usually thought of when you think of a witch's familiar. Come on, I want you to focus. There we go. The Moon is a hare. The Ace of Wands, look at that black kitty. Crows, ravens. Are those ravens or crows? I think they're ravens. More owls, that's the Queen of Cups. There's the Hierophant. We've got an owl and a black cat. The Lovers is a wolf and Little Red Riding Hood. Look at this. So yeah, it's a fabulous deck. And just look at it slipping around here. All right, let me pick them up. And just for shits and grins, I'm going to shuffle them once. So you can see this amazing cardstock. And you see I have just edged these in black. Yeah, baby. All right. Back you go, darling. Monday we'll use that deck. All right, so Les Vampires. These decks I always expect not to shuffle at all. I mean, it's all I can do to get my hands around them. This is a particularly stiff one. Some of the other Lucy Jasmine decks have way lighter cardstock, but not too stiff to shuffle. Too stiff to shuffle repeatedly. That was my, in the summer when I was getting tennis elbow. I think it was golfer's elbow. You know what? I'm going to leave her there. It was from shuffling big decks. All right. What do we need to know tonight? What do we need to know? Okay, never mind. We're going to take them from here. She came face up, so I'm going to pull her face up. Oh, dear. We're going to take her. We're going to have these sitting here because I've got 4 more, and we'll just see who comes into play. So the one that came and flew out and came face up is called That Death Will Come. Mortal, finite, fragile. Yes, we are. And, it's so funny because life is both fragile and extremely tenacious. If you've ever experienced the death of an elder and seen how, someone can be so frail. I mean, look at Queen Elizabeth, for crying out loud. So frail and still just hanging in there. People that are unfortunately ready to go sometimes just can't get out because life itself is so very tenacious. But Samhain reminds us that death will come for all of us. I always say, the only two things we know for sure, the only thing you can know for sure, you're gonna die, you don't know when. It's the only thing we know for sure. Some people may seek to answer that second one themselves, and I believe it should be a right for people who are suffering. It's only humane. But this is where at Samhain we confront our mortality and the finite nature of this journey in life and how fragile we are. And so I want to bring up here the fear of death and how we can be so terrified of that, of knowing that we're going to go. And how do you bring that into balance? Well, you connect with spirit. You connect with the eternal part of yourself. You read Thich Nhat Hanh's No Death, No Fear. That will rewire your brain in the most beautiful and simple ways. This says sacrifice, renunciation, offering, letting go. So here we go again. What are we ready to let go of? Can we make an offering of it? And like, what was it, Laura saying, the cards, the decks that got ruined when a pipe broke. Rather than kicking and screaming, and of course you have to kick and scream and grieve. You have to let that energy out of your system when something unexpectedly gets yanked away from you. But then to get on the empowered side of it, you can say, I offer this as a sacrifice, and start actively looking for any lessons that might be there for you, actively wringing the juice out of the experience, even though you maybe don't understand like the meaning of it in an intellectual, logical sense. It's just being willing to be in that situation with your whole self, not strenuously trying to be away from it. And that's the sacrifice. I am willing to be in this place with my whole self, with my eyes and my heart open to see what's coming next. Here we have knowledge, study, learning, education. So the context that you have in your mind, the education that you may have, your spiritual constructs, your philosophies, your practices, those are the framework that your experiences will hang on. They provide what's inside you will provide a context for your experiences. Now, sometimes people are deeply spiritual, but they mistakenly think that being a very spiritual person means nothing bad is ever going to happen to me. I remember once talking to someone and saying that, and she did Reiki, I'm a level 2 Reiki practitioner, and I talked about fibromyalgia and the things, that and the symptoms that I have and the things that I deal with. She's like, really? And you do Reiki? Like, me being a Reiki practitioner meant that suddenly I am healed of everything and I never have any more issues again. No. What spirituality should do, the function of it, is to give us a context that helps us be resilient when we are forced to let go, when we are confronted with the fact that death will come, and that we will be called to sacrifice as we go. As we age, we sacrifice abilities. We sacrifice, our 20/20 eyesight. We sacrifice our hearing sometimes. The body's aging calls us to, or puts us through, these, sacrificial times. And if you step into that empowered position and look at it as this is a willing sacrifice, what can I make of this? I think you may find you're more resilient than you thought. So your study, your learning, your education has everything to do with how you make it through times that are difficult. This is ancient ancestry, Egypt, magical inheritance. So we can look at what our spiritual heritage is. Most of us, I would hazard to guess, do not follow the spirituality or the religion that we were trained in. So this can talk about going to the ancient ways, the old ways, which, that's why you're here, you guys, so that you can have a greater context, a more natural context. We have witness here to know, personal evidence to speak out. So when you go and do magical practices, you will begin to experience magic for real, for reals, in its manifestation, like we do when we come here on Wednesday nights and the same cards keep coming out of different decks and the same thread keeps weaving through all the readings, where we hoot and holler and laugh because you couldn't set that up any better than it happened randomly. So when you witness, and when you witness yourself moving through crisis, moving through extremity, keep that witness in your mind. When we're going through something, we tend to be in over our heads. Particularly true for me with my Pisces moon and all my Scorpio, all my water stuff. And we don't typically have distance and perspective when we're in the thick of things. But you can cultivate a witness in your mind to keep an eye on you and to give you a little nudge. And maybe the witness is one of your guides that you have asked to please give me a nudge when I need to step back and watch my own behavior. Because there is a world of information to be had there. Her last day in the light, unexpected endings, surprise changes, sudden shifts. All right. So we do know that we are in precarious times. We do know that there are twists and turns and shifts yet to come. We have experienced ones that we never thought we would be confronting in just the last couple of years, 3 years. So what was it you reminded me of, Tavia, in my new moon thing, or the full moon, or maybe both? Expect the unexpected. It was with Uranus conjuncting the full moon. Expect the unexpected. Expect your shit to get shaken up. And I'm going back to that 10 of Pentacles and 9 of Pentacles. Come back to your material resources. Come back to reality. Come back to yourself. And keep yourself grounded in the midst. Grounded, but also witnessing. Make sure that your spiritual practice and tradition is one that supports you, is one that functions for you when the shit is hitting the fan. We got 2 more and they came out, so I'm gonna, Baby Joe, welcome! Hey! All right, step out, come back. So this is discipline, training, consistency, and practice. Your spiritual practice, make sure it works for you. This is outsider, misfit, loner, wanderer. Okay, so sometimes the practices, the spiritual practices that you vibe to are not ones that are condoned by society, are not ones where you can, no matter how you look, find a good group that you vibe with to work with. And it is true that groups that already exist tend to be very closed and, what do I want to say? Discriminating in who they let in, and they should be, because when you get a group that starts working together and has worked together for a while, and it really is functioning, it's very difficult to bring new energies in without things just kind of being upset. But your spiritual traditions, your practices may put you as an outsider. So what happens when you feel like an outsider? Go inside. Go inside. Be the insider. Connect with spirit there. Connect with your guides. You are never alone. All right. Oh, you wonderful vampire. Her decks are amazing. When you have that like perfect marriage of artwork and writing. Thank you, little vampire. Okay, so we have 1, 2, and 3 next. Left. No, we've already done 5. Okay, 1, 2, or 3. 1, 2, or 3. 3. I just had to tell it. Only 1, 2, 3, please. And they listened. The haunted house. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Okay, hold on. I need a small breather here. Okay, like Dr. Seuss said, you did not come here to fit in. You came here to stand out. Sometimes standing out means pulling back and observing. Absolutely, that witness card was there. Pulling back and watching what's going on outside of you and deciding what you want to be a part of and what you do not. All right. So, Samhain time is traditionally a time for initiations. Usually like the quarters, full moons at the cross quarters, but Samhain is like the time of year for initiation. I gotta look at this. Oh, I guess they're not that bad. I feel like my glasses are horrendously dirty. Anyway, I was initiated at Samhain. I believe it was October 18th. It was 1989. Was it 88 or 89? I'm pretty sure it was 89. Anyway, magical time of year to be initiated. And why? Because the veil is thin. You know, death and life come very close together at this time, and at Beltane, but more profoundly at this time. And so it is a wonderful time to get started on a spiritual practice. And you can do a self-initiation. You don't have to find a group in order to do an initiation. Or really, an initiation ceremony is usually when someone gets initiated. Now, I want to say, in like the Gardnerian tradition where I was initiated, if you're doing things strictly, before they would even bring somebody in to study, they are initiated. And then you come in as an initiate and you begin to learn. That's not how things are typically done these days. Typically, people come in and begin to learn, and then they decide, do I want to take the step of initiation? But most of the time, initiation is a ceremony to mark something that has already happened. You've already gone through this profound change, and we just want to mark that. We want to assist it with all the spiritual help we can get. We want to install the basic rules of the elements. Do you know those rules? They are to know, to will, to dare, and to keep silent. I just gave you a mystery there, you guys. Those correspond to the elements. I'll let you suss out which is which. Oops. Okay, they don't want to be shuffled anymore this way. Let me focus in. Got 10 of Swords at the bottom of the pack. Yikes. Haunted house. What is haunted in our heads here? Okay, they're flying out everywhere, you guys. They are making it, oh my God, so easy for me tonight. Okay, so we have these. Let's start off. We've got the Lover's card. And then we've got Justice. And I've got these and I've got these, so I'm gonna go like this. Look at this. Major, major, major. So we have Lovers, we have Justice, we have the Moon. let's go to the book because this deck has its own voice. Lovers is the enraptured couple. Raven stumbles upon them and can't tear her eyes away. How does it feel to be loved? Love, desire, sexuality, eroticism, choice, attraction, flirtation, union, vulnerability, and alliance. So, this card talks about that energy of falling in love, that energy of attraction, that chemistry, that buzz, that, that kind of vibe. Then we have the Justice card. The head maid. She pays close attention. Okay, the grammar's funny. She pays close attention to the maids in her charge. She rules the pantry and her staff with an iron fist. Work, law, logic, balance, intellect, decisions, court proceedings, and rules. Okay. So the things that we are attracted to, attached to, in love with, and then we need to bring in that discrimination, that balance. Yes, that intellect for certain. Watching over things. And then we've got the moon here. Raven's journey home. You know what? The beginning of this. The Haunted House Tarot is a narrative deck. A simple spread that can be used with the deck is done by drawing 3 cards. A fear to be discarded, an action to be taken, an attitude to be embraced. All right, so there is a story in the beginning of this. You know what? I'm going to read this little part. I don't remember if I did it in my unboxing. So this is Raven's journey home. Our final destination is never exactly as we imagine. Life is mystery. Mystery is life. Play with the mystery. It waits for you with open arms. Embrace the unknown. Dreams, subconscious, mystery, cycles, fantasy, illusion, occult, and psychic. All the stuff we've been talking about. This is consciousness in the middle. Let me read this little intro here. Hi, Becca. Welcome, sweetie. Okay. Oh, Marcy, I know. I'm so sorry. I wish I could straddle that line, but I got to go where I'm at. She says I have to program my mind to say, hey, we're in Beltane, not Samhain. Yep. Okay. And Marcy used this deck today. Yes, it is amazing. And yes, that Beltane Samhain polarity. That's, the strongest polarity of the entire year. Okay. Hail. All right. To enter the deck, you may read these words aloud. Your heart pumps like an engine. Every cell of your body is alive and alert. Your hair flies wildly in the salty sea wind. The limousine's taillights glow red like demon eyes growing smaller as they drive away, leaving the blackness to envelop you like a cloak. You look toward the hulking mansion. The windows reflect consciousness as if the inner sanctum of the house is humming with sentient power. You smile, daring the house to make the first move. The ocean scent is as overwhelming as the crashing waves' repeated thunder against the worn sand. Earthy moss creeps across the walls. The whipping wind gusts are fresh and alive, especially compared to the stale airplane air you have just endured. The distant pines whistle while the taste of excitement spreads across your velvet tongue. Your eyes trace the house. Its expansive roof, curling gables, and hundreds of windows glow brighter. The door opens. Won't you come in? The fire is crackling. The brandy is decanting. This isn't any old house. Oh no. This is the house of your wildest dreams and your deepest nightmares. The house calls to you because you've always displayed uncanny gifts. You've always known how to walk a fine line between opposing emotions. Somehow you manage to meet them in the middle. You navigate the space between eroticism and fear. You understand both lead to goosebumps and shivers. You use them for all they are worth. Fear and romance both leave you breathless. fear and romance. It washes you up from the inside and puts you on alert. No, it wakes you up from the inside, puts you on alert. You've never been more alive than you are at this very moment. This is why the house calls to you now. The darkness is coming. The haunted house's inhabitants hold the key. They are the last gasp of hope for keeping civilization together. Raven Wandsworth has been summoned to this mansion on the cliffs overlooking a moonlit ocean. The house is not empty. Forgotten archetypes gather inside its walls. Journey with Raven as she meets them, one card at a time. Will Raven see the house and the archetypes for who they really are? Can she remind them of their power before it is too late? Will she gather the fool's power for herself? And most importantly, will she discover the greatest secret of all? Will she realize that she, like you, are the sign you've been looking for? Will you and Raven finally uncover the world's best-kept secret, that you have held the key all along? What a wonderful little story. And look, we have 3 more cards. So we have that balance between love and fear. Where there's fear, there can be no love. Where there is love, there can be no fear. And in this instance, with fear represented by the moon, what do we fear? We fear the things that we can't see clearly. We fear the shadowy. We fear the dark. We fear illusion. But sometimes the love and romance feeling we have is illusion. So we can fear losing our illusions as well and seeing things for what they really are rather than seeing them through the eyes of attraction and infatuation. So Justice in the middle talks about balancing and seeing clearly. We have the 3 of Pentacles here. We have, the 10 of Wands and the 10 of Swords. Remember me saying this was at the base of the pack? The 10 of Wands and the 10 of Swords reversed, y'all. All right. So we come to deal with this balance between love and fear, love and death, but it's the moon. So it's the subconscious. We fear the things we don't know in our very own mind. So like I was talking way back in the beginning, here we go. The path forward is through knowledge of the subconscious, knowledge of what is deep down inside. Deep down inside. So the other veil that thins at Samhain, not just between life and death, it's the veil between the conscious and the unconscious. We have greater access to the subconscious, to that well of collective consciousness, to the Akashic records that live inside of us. The access to the Akashic records is through here. Through here. You hold the key. 3 of Pentacles does talk about collaborative work and concrete plans, concrete practice. So dealing with the concrete and the real, not the illusion. And the best thing you can do when you have something that's causing a lot of fear, I had the most consequential counselor I've ever had in my life. And I was going through the big shit with this woman. This was 29 years ago, a little less than 29 years ago. And I would call her, because major panic attacks. I would call her freaking out, and she would say, "What are you most afraid of?" And she would make me say it. And as soon as I said it, it would be like, okay, that's kind of stupid. That's not really going to happen. What are you most afraid of? I am afraid that I'm going to pass out and nobody will be able to get to me and to take care of my 1.5-year-old baby. So I had these panic attacks and I would go unlock the door so that they could get in, And she'd say, "What do you fear the most?" And I'd start talking about that. And she's like, "Okay, if you did pass out, you would come to again. Pretty soon. Your baby's okay. You're going to be okay, And so just naming that fear is the first step towards dragging it out of the moonlight and into the sunlight. So here we have dealing with things in reality, naming it, putting your hand to it. Where does it live? Out there. Where does it live in manifest reality? And this, the Ten of Wands and the Ten of Swords reversed, and then we can take a load off our shoulders because we can dump the fears that are just the spooks in our mind, our haunted head. So the Haunted House Oracle talking about our haunted head. We can relieve ourselves of that oppressive burden of carrying all these worries and fears, and it's not destruction. We are not bound for fiery, painful death here. That's what our fear tells us. So when we turn away from the moonlight and look at the Justice card, look where she's looking. She's going to look this right in the face. She's going to look the fear right in the face. She's going to look the spooks right in the face. Show me what you got. Come on. Here I am. And so we are practical about it, but these are wonderful cards saying that for all the tension and stress of the times we're living in, for all the fears about the economy and politics and the way things are going to go in the land of the free and the home of the brave, that so much of this fear is an illusion, and it is our projection into, it's bringing into the present the projection of our fear onto the future. And then we live in that fear with the emotional consequences and the energetic consequences. So we need to deal with it in reality and turn these over. We are not actually devastated and completely destroyed. We are carrying a burden. We can turn that upside down. We can relieve ourselves of that burden if we deal what's inside our haunted head and look straight at it. Okay? Hoo, hoo, hullabaloo, as the Irish say. And at the base of the pack, the High Priestess. Yes, she's there, the High Priestess. All righty, oh my God. Yes, the party is really starting now, Bags here. The Beltane sound polarity again. Yes, Becca, good eye. So yes, fear and romance. Romance and love is the Beltane end. Fear is the Samhain end. And we have the Seven of Cups game flipped out upside down, turning our illusions around, confronting illusion and not letting it live and affect us emotionally. Damn. Okay, what's going on? I got all kinds of shit turned around here. I got this deck. What's happening? Okay, these cards came the other way. So yeah, y'all, you need this deck. This is a fabulous deck. Okay. The Haunting, yes, I have. The Haunting of Hill House and the Haunting of Bly Manor. Yes, those were fabulous. Now, have you seen, so the Haunting of Hill House. Yes, there will be a third one. Yes, they do. Yes, it's my guides. They're props to my guides, you guys. They're the ones that facilitate this party. So if you have not seen it, it's a movie from the 60s, and it's just called The Haunting. And it is that story of the Haunting of Hill House. And it's so fucking scary. It's in black and white, and it's one of these things where you never like see overtly like there's a ghost. It's all of these sounds and noises, and it is all about fear, and it's one of the scariest movies ever. I got goosebumps talking about it. But you must see it. It is a must see at Samhain time. All righty, where are we at now? We got 1 and 2, just 1 and 2. That's all that's left. 5. No, darling, that's not it. That's not it. 1 and 2. Uh-oh, where'd it go? Oh my God, you guys. Where did it go? I swear I saw it go that way. Did you guys see where my little red dice went? Oh my God. BRB. guys, I know I'll find it. But I'm going to keep looking because that's what I do. Boy, it just yeeted itself out of there, didn't it? Are you under there? Are you under there, darling? No? It disappeared itself. Oh, I'm sad. Under the big skull. Yeah, that's what I thought, but it's not. Oh, there. Yes, it is. There it is, right there. Thank you. All right. It's escaping. It wants to go away. Here we go. 1 or 2, 1 or 2. 4. No, 1 or 2, darling. 1 or 2. 1. The zombie throw. Okay. Refreshment. I'm going to take a little bit more time for some more refreshment. And I'm going to receive an offering on behalf of the ancestors and my guides. I offer you, and Ganesh back there, I offer you this York peppermint patty as I read messages. All right. Yes, gremlins took it. So, yes, that is a ginkgo leaf. My son brought me this ginkgo leaf the other day, and I love it because these are ancient trees. And I was just watching on TikTok, one of the people I follow is a young woman who lives in Ohio, and she goes out and finds food in the wild and teaches about it. And she was talking about ginkgo trees and how they're wonderful trees. They're ancient, they're beautiful. In the fall, they turn this glorious yellow, and that cities will plant them because they're wonderful trees to have, but they will plant all male trees because the fruit of the female tree, she said these things smell like baby farts and cheese. Which I dare you to imagine. I didn't go too far down that road. But she went out and she gathered these fruits, and she said you put a bag over your hand to gather them because if you don't, your hands will be smelling like baby farts and cheese. Plus, the coating, I guess it's part of the poison ivy family, so it's very irritating. So you have to pick them up with a plastic bag, take that bag home. And then she, God, what did she do next? She had to take the coating off, and I can't remember exactly how she did that. And then she put them in a pot. So you take the coating off and expose the nuts, put them in a pot with some oil and covered it and let them fry a little bit, and you could hear them popping. And she put salt on them, and she said they taste like a different kind of popcorn, but not like baby farts and cheese. So, stalking the wild asparagus. Yes. All right. This is a deck that needs edged. What do you guys think? I mean, it's black on that side. It's not black on this side, but I think it would do well with a black border. Oh, this not only is a stiff deck, this is a badly cut deck. This is one of those decks where the cards don't match up, so it's impossible to really shuffle well. All right. So, zombies, come, chat. Just gotta take hold of these and tell me what we need to know. Tell me what our next message is here. I have to relax. I have to settle in. I start getting anxious. Okay. All right. Well, that card stayed in my hand and these all fell out. So let's just start in. Hazards. This is the 9 of Hazards, and I do believe in this deck that Hazards are Pentacles. I think the other 3 suits are actually Cups and Swords and Wands. Yes, Cups, Wands, Swords, and Hazards. Now, conducting a reading. Let me see how many cards I got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. What do you know? Let's see which of these might be a 10-card reading. There's the Beginner, the Broken Heart, the Gravestone, the Eyeball, and the Severed Head. That's an 8. Let's just do a good old Celtic cross. Why not? Why not? So 10 of Hazards is 10 of Pentacles. So here we go again, back to our first reading where 10 of Pentacles came up. And it talks about this is where we are. We are firmly in our reality. We are dealing with all things material and the culmination of that, of the material. And to cross that, we have Knight of Hazards. So the Knight of Pentacles is the knight that doesn't get anywhere, the knight that is standing still. And to me, he has always talked about leveling up as far as responsibility goes and how we handle our material resources, and crossing the 10 of Pentacles. Actually, this is the 9 of Hazards, not the 10. The 9. Okay, that was the last card of the first reading. And so now it's the first card of this reading. So from that place of having what we need for ourselves, being in this place of abundance, it is time, what's crossing that is we don't have the skills to kind of keep up with it. And it's time to level up in the ways that we deal with our material resources. What I'm getting here is that whatever education you need to do, if you're looking to invest or something like that, or maybe divest because you're not trusting economies and banks and stuff like that. But it talks about taking action in a very measured, slow way to deal with our resources. Okay, the foundation here is the 8 of Hazards. So the foundation is apprenticeship and practice. And you know what? I'm going to read. I mean, we'll do intuitively, but then I'll go and read because these cards are fun. And I guess I'll just go with this now. The 8 of Hazards. Invention, ingenuity, new approach. The 8 of Hazards demonstrates the need to think outside the pressurized expansion tank. If a current endeavor is failing or stalling, try rewiring the brain to explore new possibilities in different angles. Free your mind, your ass will follow, right? The mind is the builder. You start there. Don't return to the same tactics over and over. You need to put your talents and imagination to better use. So the foundation of this here is what we are trained to do, what our habits are, what we have been practicing, the way we've been doing things, all right, is the foundation of dealing with this material stuff. In the past, look at it's all hazards. You saw me shuffle. This deck was not in order. It is not in order at all. And we've got nothing but pentacles. Hazards. So the 7 talks about review. So we have our habits and the way we're used to doing things. That's the foundation. In the most recent past is, wait, am I doing this right? It's coming up for review. What don't I know? What else can I do? How can I do this better? How can I take better care? And that's talking to that knight, saying you need better skills. Up in the sky is the 4 of Cups. So we're talking about our dissatisfaction and disappointment. Let me come here. Turned right to it. Boredom, dissatisfaction, weariness. Yeah. We're worn out. We are worn out with all this bullshit with the economy, dealing with what we have to deal with. We're fucking worn out. Sure, being a zombie seems exciting. Who doesn't enjoy sending crowds of people fleeing and screaming in terror? I know I do. Yet there are moments when you're likely to experience boredom, melancholy, or ennui. When that happens, look for opportunities to rejuvenate yourself. A little fresh blood may be just the thing to get you chasing after kids on the playground again. So, up in the sky, what do we need to do to turn kind of our apathy around? Because we've been dealing with these things, and this, Eight of Pentacles talks about practice, getting your hands on the tools, but at the foundation here, it's talking to me about habits, things that are ingrained on a practical, physical, material level. And we bring those things up for review, and this is a way that we can start busting out of our who the fuck cares? What can I do about it? And here we go, our first major. In the future, the near future, what's coming in is the Hermit. Solitude, isolation, going it alone, but also insight. The Hermit with the light is looking inside, looking more deeply at what's happening. Let's read him. Solitude, respite, self-reliance. We all need some time to ourselves. Just because you hear the undead knocking doesn't mean you need to open the door. A much-needed break helps you to recharge before heading back out into the ruckus of the zombie apocalypse. Take a few deep breaths before you open that door. What's that smell? The odor of power, my friend, and the pile of corpses in the backyard. So this is saying in the near future, we need to take a break. We need to back off from the chaos, the mayhem, the election stuff. And I want to say to Americans right now, please ignore the polls. Please ignore what people are saying about how the polling is going. It's bullshit. Ignore it. And I read an article today that said that they read an article about the last election cycle and how the polls were wildly inaccurate. Many mistakes. So, don't listen. Okay, the here and now is the Page of Cups. So here we are, this little child standing there with his heart. Here's me. Feeling and being receptive and open. And needing some emotional insight, some emotional care. How did I whip right past the cups there? It's because cups come up first. Okay. Page of Cups. Creative, kind, artistic. What is it about tiny little zombies that makes you want to hug the intestines out of them? The page may represent a young person in your life who brings joy and warm fuzzies. Remember, even when you're feeling completely alone, there's always someone lurking behind the bush who cares. So in the here and now, maybe it's time to hang out with some youngers, or hang out with your younger self. Connect with your inner child. Find out what they need. It's Halloween. Let them go out and play. There needs to be adult trick-or-treat. And we hand out things that are adulty like, tacos and margaritas and shit. So, the environment around is the Five of Swords. Yes, baby. We are in it. We're in it to win it. The environment around is that there's a mess going on. There are power struggles everywhere. And it just keeps going. Struggle, struggle, struggle. Hopes and fears is the Ace of Swords. Okay. So hopes and fears, what's the hope? That we can cut off some of this bullshit that's going on? What's the fear? What am I going to be asked to let go of? What am I going to be asked to cut away? Let's do some more reading because these cards are so much fun. So, let's look at the Five of Swords. Defeat, bickering, severing ties, like that thread in the web. There's trouble brewing. In the Tarot, fives represent a turning point for a project, relationship, or issue. They denote a crisis. Resentment may be simmering among you and your fellow refugees. Be wary of any individuals who always seem ready to start a fight. If your problems can't be resolved for the better, it may be time to cut the ties that bind. Yeah. You get to decide how much you let in, within your context. And then the Ace of Swords here, hopes and fears, says, trials, intellect, action. The Ace of Swords cuts to the heart of a situation and offers you a new beginning. And it's a beginning that comes because of what you cut away. It's up to you to take it and run as fast as your little feet can carry you. It's also the sword of truth. Just remember that most swords are double-edged. The same tool that you'll wield to slice through a pack of zombies could ultimately sever your head from your spine. Have a game plan ready to roll. And the outcome here, the Three of Cups. Isn't that wonderful? Okay. The outcome is celebration, partnership, good times. Do you take this zombie to be your lawfully wedded spouse? Can you see? I have to get really close so it will focus. There we go. Well, why not? The Three of Cups signals a time of creation, the joining of two misfits in a weird zombie-human union through a wedding, birth, or new partnership. Don't let the criticism or judgment of others interfere with your happiness. Revel in the good times while you can. Find something to celebrate. Step outside, Hermit says, step outside of all that hubbub, and find a reason to celebrate. Make a reason to celebrate. Make holiday. My kids learned from me as they were growing up that you make holidays. You decide to decorate, to put on the dog, to make food, to behave as if, put yourself in that partying mode. All right. Wow. I mean, that one certainly spoke to all the economic stressors that are happening right now and the political ones that are causing it and how we cope. Now, our last one is the Halloween Oracle. All right. Oh, yeah, this is a sweet, soft, bendy, easy to shuffle deck. Where'd everybody go? Seems that the chat went silent during that reading. Okay. One more, just because it's so much fun. All right, now. Oh, Halloween Oracle, wrap it up for us tonight. What is our ending message? Okay, there's one. Just 3, please. 3 would be nice. Might I have 2 more, please? Let's try it this way. Nope, I can't do it that. Okay, that one wants to come out. And that one wants to come out. We have Ghost. We have Jack-o'-lantern. And Eternal Love. So, Ghost is regret. So one of the things we may find in our haunted head, when the veil thins and we go looking, when we look our fears in the face. And it's one of the things that we may be most afraid to confront. And that is regret over things that cannot be changed now, of past behaviors. Things that we've done that we're not proud of. When I was still doing Hogwarts, we did a thing about regret. And it was, I think we were talking about horcruxes. And yes, it was all about accidental horcruxes. And in the stories, a horcrux is something that is created from a piece of Voldemort's soul. And he split these pieces off. Every time he committed a murder, a piece of soul split off, and he installed it in these objects and was going to use those objects to resurrect himself. So he did that willingly. But we can create accidental horcruxes when we do things that we're not proud of, things that make us feel shame, and we take that little part of ourselves, our soul, our mind, and we split it off and put it over here. I don't want to think about that. I don't want to know that. Yes, I did that. I don't want to know that. It scares me. Because that's not who I see myself as, right? But every time we split off a little piece of ourselves, it's lost. It's a piece that's lost to us, but it's always recoverable. And reading, Dreaming the Soul Back Home, I'm still reading it. It's all about recovering those pieces of soul that are lost through trauma. So we can have trauma that happens by no doing of our own. But what I'm talking about here, because of this regret card, is actions that we have actually taken that have caused us to feel shame and wall off a little part of ourselves. So we have an opportunity here at Samhain to open that door, to look that fear in the face, to look at who you were when you did those things, and to regard yourself with compassion. When I think about the big shame stuff, for me, it's in my 20s. And I can look back now and go, darling, you were so traumatized. I was a traumatized loose cannon. And I can look at those behaviors and it's like, that's not really me. That was traumatized me. That was wounded and toxic me. And now, with all the healing work I've done, I can look back at those things and say, do I regret that happening? Absolutely. Can I change it? No. So let's have compassion. And let's say that if there are things that you can atone for, if you can make amends in a way that doesn't re-traumatize anyone, then think about that. And what is an effective apology? Well, you acknowledge what was done. You go and say, I did this. It hurt you. I am very sorry. How can I fix it? You can do that depending on how long ago something was. Like I said, you know in your life what you can do and what you can't do. But we need to look at these regrets and face them. Jack-o'-lantern here is protection. This is your guides stepping in and saying, you can do this now. If you have healed from these things, or if this is like the last piece of healing, facing the regret and making amends if you can, know that those efforts are protected. Any effort at bringing healing, any effort at bringing reunion. And one of the things when you go to atone for something, let's say it caused a rift between you and someone else, you have zero control over whether someone is willing to talk to you, willing to forgive you. You cannot. You have to let that go. So here's the thing you have to let go at Samhain. People you have harmed are the captains and the in charge of their ability to forgive, not you. But what your part is to apologize, is to be willing to make amends and go through the fucking humiliating event of saying, I am so sorry that I did this, the most healing thing ever. But again, when you take steps in the direction of good and healing and unification, when you take steps in the direction of love, you are protected. The universe meets you more than halfway. Regardless of the outcome on the other person's end, you are protected on your end. And then we have eternal love. Love is love is love, and it transcends physical death. So, love and fear, and protection, love and regret, and protection. So ultimately, love is love is love. If you are not able to talk to someone, maybe they've passed, and say, I'm sorry. Know that everything is connected. And if you, with a sincere and open heart at Samhain time, and I mean, this is the time, what is it, Rosh Hashanah or Yom Kippur? I can never remember which one, around this time of year, that the Feast of Atonement, you know, to go into the dark of the year unburdened, that 10 of Wands reversed. So in ritual, you can step up and speak to this person's spirit from your spirit. Here is what I did. And you can actually ask somebody else, if you're willing to share what happened and what, you know, what was done, to ask someone else to witness that for you, someone that you trust, someone who has good boundaries themselves, someone, regardless of what they think of it, you can just allow them to be a witness. That witness card came up here too. And when you are purging regret, when you are looking to heal this negative energy that is regret and shame, having a witness is so, so powerful, because as long as you're keeping it just within yourself, within me, myself, and I, you can't get to the roots of shame. When you have to, this is the value of confession in the Catholic Church. They know that when you have to say it to another living human being, whether it's the person you harmed or not, it really gets to the heart of that shame and it pulls it out, and you can experience healing. But above all is love. And this is a wonderful card at the end here of eternal love, regardless of the death that we are going through. The universe, what was it Einstein said, that the space between the atoms is love. Love is eternal. Love goes beyond death. Whatever we have to let go of this Samhain season, whatever is being taken out of our hands, whatever we choose to say, I am willing to make this sacrifice about, what remains beyond any of it, physical losses, what remains is love. Hoo-wee! Well, you guys, okay, let's see. Oh my gosh, literally jumped off the shelf at you yesterday. Yes, they want to speak. Lots of lovers tonight. The song Regrets by Eurythmics. I don't know that song, Laura. Soul retrieval is a Native American ceremony. It's a shamanic ceremony as well. And the thing I really love about this soul recovery book, Dreaming the Soul Back Home, is that it's not about retrieval where somebody else does the journeying for you to find pieces. This is about you using your own dreaming to journey and find your own soul, find the parts of your soul and bring them back home. So, wow, you guys, that was a fun night. Indeed it was, and what a wonderful ending. Thank you so much to my guides and my guardians. You're the best. You're the best. Thank you for the clear messages. Thank you for driving this show. Well, I hope that you got something useful out of it. I certainly just enjoy hanging out, but you know how much I love to play. I intend to do a live stream on Monday night, and I think it will probably be like a little... the context will be more about prayer and magic and that kind of stuff, but we will certainly do readings as well. And there's no more powerful magic for doing divination than the night of Samhain. So yippee skippy, and I might probably November 7th I'll do one too. You know, celebrate over and over and over again. You can celebrate at the new moon, celebrate at Samhain, celebrate the full moon, celebrate when the sun hits 14 degrees, which is also the same time of the full moon, but celebrate, celebrate, celebrate. You know, love your life, actively love your life, and celebrate regardless of what the hell's going on. Hold on. And after a really full mug of coffee and a bunch of Gatorade, I actually did not have to go take a pee break, which means I'm going to be up all night. Back and forth and back and forth. I went to get a little cup of brandy, and I want to offer you this libation. First of all, I'm going to offer a libation to the skull, offer a libation to death and all the little skulls here, and the spider, another little skull, and I offer my guides and guardians and allies and ancestors this libation. I will be leaving some out for the fairies on Samhain, but I offer it to you as well. Have something wonderful to drink. You did the okay. You did the journey. That's awesome. Yes, it is a pleasure hanging out. It was a great night. 13 likes. Yeah, bye. Oh. Yes, okay. Take care, everybody. What time is it even? Oh, it's only not even 9:30. Hell yeah. All right, you guys. I hope you have an amazingly wonderful week. I hope you can join me on Monday. I have 2 more tarot decks to unbox, and then I'm out. And I have a few more oracle decks, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-ish. I'd say maybe 3 tarot-ish. 1 deck is an ish. 3 tarot, 5 oracles, and then I am out of decks to unbox. And I'm looking, beyond that to more hashtaggy kind of things, and where I can pull out my decks and just play the way we do. So I'm not too fussed about it. But if you want to buy me one, the link is down below. If you're watching this as a video, please hit the like button. Please subscribe if you get something out of this. And you can send me a tip down below if you'd like to. There's a couple links. You can also join my Patreon for just $3 a month and say, "Add a witch, Luna." So blessed be everyone. Blessed Samhain, blessed Beltane to you south of the equator. And I will see you very soon. I love you guys so much. Take care. Blessed be.